Hello everyone, my name is Tara and welcome to Aligning to Love. In this channel I aim to spread hope, joy, peace, and love to the world by sharing goodness and love within my life. In this video I wanted to share my personal and family life updates and events and the signs that I saw along the way. In the last video I uploaded, I was sharing about the big lesson in the week 1 and 2 of living with my parents during the move that my husband and my daughter and I made to Middlebury, Vermont. And week 2's lesson was a lot about letting go. Letting go of our old home, letting go of our old neighborhood and friends, letting go of my identity of being a teacher, and letting go of my daughter's newborn clothes, because I left off saying that I donated all of her newborn clothes up to 16-month clothes or somewhere around that range to the secondhand shop in our Middlebury town store called Junebugs. And I love that store, and it made the letting go process of those clothes much easier, because not only did it allow for room in our new home that we're in now, but it gave us the opportunity to have clothes for the age range that she is now without having to spend extra money. And so that was always a nice way of helping me to let go and to see that it's bringing new opportunities into my life. And so going on to week 3, I wanted to talk about just the milestones that my daughter made. She was, in past videos I've talked about how she was developing really quickly with her physical development and her fine motor skills, but the verbal skills were not as quick as the other ones. And so when we moved into my parents' house, she was talking so much more. She was getting to see her grandparents and her uncle on a much more regular basis. My parents also have lots of neighbors and friends of the family that stop in or just come and check on them and just have social times, which is really fun because you never really know who's going to be there when you visit. And it gave my daughter a lot more opportunity to be social. And so her vocabulary and her language just definitely sparked the time that we were there, which was amazing to witness. And my mom loved singing the head, shoulders, knees, and toes song to her, teaching her about all her different body parts. And even though she couldn't say the words, she was able to identify and point to them, which was so exciting to see. And it was really special for my mom to be able to have that teaching and those like quality moments with singing and showing her new things. And it was really important and special for me to be able to be part of that as well. Other highlights that I wanted to mention is that the weather was crazy throughout those 2 weeks. We had really high temperatures where we couldn't even go outside. Luckily, my mom and dad have a heat pump, and so they're able to keep the house nice and cool, which we didn't have at the apartment. So it was a really nice change to be able to regulate the temperature inside. And then we had weather where it was just so dry. It was very hot, it was very dry, there was a drought, and there was this one time where I just looked out the window and it just looked like we were in the middle of fall, because the yard was brown or yellow, the fields were yellow, and then the wind was blowing, and because the leaves weren't getting any water, it just looked like it was a blustery fall day. And it was just so bizarre to see that in August. But then during the 3rd week, we did get more rain, and which was really needed, but with the rain, it also became a cold front and the temperatures dropped. And so going from like 90 to 80 degree weather down to like 40 and 50, I remember my body just like having a hard time adjusting, and I was trying to pull out all of my fleece and my corduroy pants and sweatpants, and doing the same thing for my husband and my daughter's clothing. And yeah, and so and then it was felt like we were getting ready for the winter, and the weather was just all over the place. And that was just something that stuck out to me that I wanted to remember for the future. Another part of the week 3 highlights for me were that my daughter was turning 18 months with my parents, and so she was able to just be that the transition of being 17 months into 18 months with them. And for me, it's always sentimental whenever she turns that next month, because I just know that she's growing up and we're getting out of the baby phase and she's a toddler. And so just like taking in all of the bath times at Nana and Granddad's, because when we lived there, that was the first time that we were able to have those bath setups in the upstairs bathroom that we were in. And it was really handy because the way my parents' house is laid out is that the upstairs is where my brother and I would sleep in our bedrooms, and there was an upstairs bathroom and a small office computer room and then a guest bedroom. And so it was really the perfect setup to be able to live with my parents but have our own space. And so, but it was just really nice to be able to have the upstairs, and that was another milestone, her being able to crawl and learn how to go upstairs, which she had been practicing with my mom through the other holidays in the last year that we had been visiting. But being in a house with stairs for a month was definitely something she was eyeing every time she got a chance to practice to go upstairs and downstairs. And some other milestones were that during the transition, she hadn't been using a bottle very much at all, but during July and August, when everything was completely different to her norms, the last time she had a bottle was right when she turned 18 months in the house. And ever since we moved into this house, she's never had the bottle. And that was a big milestone. It was definitely like a physical transition and then an emotional and developmental one for her, which was exciting but also very nostalgic for me. Some other highlights of the 3rd week was that I felt like the theme of the 3rd week was growing, because it was all of the ending of the 17 months and the new beginnings of the 18 month. And my husband and I were looking online, and we saw someone selling a backpack for hiking or for events where you can put your child in the backpack on your back. And my mom was actually the one who found it, and she told me and my husband. And so we met up with the person and we bought it. And I remember the first time we used it, it was finally just like calm weather. We weren't in the cold front. It wasn't a drought. It wasn't extremely hot, but it wasn't freezing either. And we went into the field, and my brother came over, my mom was there, and my husband had my daughter on his back in the backpack, and we all just had a really nice walk down in the field. And she was loving it. My husband was running around, getting her to laugh, and she had a great time. And then that same week, and also we did it again that day, my mom had bought bubbles, and so my dad and everyone, we all watched her chase bubbles that my mom was blowing. And it was just really special to have that memory and that event, because we hadn't exposed her to bubbles because there really wasn't a place to do it in our apartment. And so that was just a really fun night. The 3rd week was also the week that my brother and I had our Arrival Day celebrations. And our Arrival Day, for those of you who may not be aware, for our family, we celebrated the day that we came into our family, which is called the Arrival Day. It's like a birthday, except the day that we were placed in their arms. And for me, it was always very special because my brother, even though he's adopted as well, he knows his birthday. It was on his documents, but because the way that I was adopted, I was found and placed in an orphanage, so they had to come up with my birthday. So my birthday was never really special to me, and the arrival day with my family always was, because it was an accurate date that actually meant something. And so that was really special to be able to celebrate with my brother and my mom and dad and my husband and my daughter. And other than the wedding that my cousin had, he had his wedding 2 years ago on August 19th. Other than that day, it was the only time in like a decade that my mom and my dad and my whole family and my husband and my brother were all in the same place, because usually I was getting ready for teaching for the year, and I was in services, so I wasn't able to see my family for my arrival day. So that was really special for that week, that third week in August. So I do remember that night I did a video, and I was so excited because I had been having a bunch of technical difficulties with my laptop, with my external hard drives and my cords and my USB ports, but somehow it worked so that I was able to get a video up that night. And I'm going to end the video here because my next video that I'm going to talk about, I had a very interesting and for me it was spiritual, but a really curious event that happened after I filmed that arrival day video. And so I'm excited to talk more just solely about that in the next video. So I hope all of you are having a wonderful night and enjoying the nights leading up to Christmas. And I hope you're all finding peace. I know I was super excited that we have snow now, so it's not going to be a brown Christmas. We'll actually have a white Christmas, hopefully, if it sticks. And so I love you all. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.